If you're a Cincinnati sports fan right now, this might be the most frustrating December we've had in a long time. The Bengals didn't just lose to Baltimore, they got spanked. UC basketball just got embarrassed by Georgia. And Reds fans, we are still waiting for a plan. So tonight, we're turning our frustration into hope with our Cincinnati Christmas Wish List, counting it down 12 days of Christmas style. Some of these wishes are long overdue. This is the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. Welcome back to the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast, your home for real talk on Cincinnati sports. I'm Dave, he's Sam, and tonight we'll hit the Bengals' embarrassing shutout loss, ask tough questions about UC basketball and Wes Miller, and see if there's anything new worth reacting to with the Reds. Then we'll dive into our topic of the week, our Cincinnati Christmas Wish List, counting it down to 12 days of Christmas for frustrated fans across this city. Plus trivia, your participation, and a few strong opinions along the way. Let's get into it, the week that was. All right, let's dive into the week that was real quick, son, and talk about that Bengals embarrassing loss to the Baltimore Ravens, 24-0. The only thing really that I can say about that, I mean, it was bad. It just seemed like they didn't want to be there. It was cold. Nope. You know, everything about that game was from the snow still on the seats to the temperatures to the play. It was just bad all around. Thoughts on the game before we ask the next question?
Yeah, I mean, that was very evident that 90% of players didn't want to be out there on the Bengals side. I mean, when you have a division rival basically saying, yeah, they quit, it was evident to the team they were playing that most of the guys didn't want to be out there. And is making comments earlier in the week alluding to how he doesn't want to be out there. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? So, I mean, that wasn't a surprise. The Bengals being cheap and not clearing off seats is not a surprise. I mean, Buffalo doesn't have this issue. They send out a tweet and say, hey, fans, will pay you $20 an hour. Come help us out. We'll give you tickets to the game too. Thousands of people show up. That's all they had to do. People would have shown up and cleared off the seats for them, 100%. And the fact that they don't even have the foresight to do that, I mean, they probably could have gotten away with not paying anybody, just giving them 2 free beer tickets or something, and people would have done it. I mean,
or hey, we'll wait to see how many people actually come through the gate, and then we got 50,000 seats, empty seats. Come on in.
Well, you have to have the gates open in order to count the people coming through.
That's the other issue, right? Yeah, it's
yeah.
Now, I will say this, though. I've been to a couple of games where, the tailgating, they like to wait 5 minutes before kickoff and then try to rush in.
No, you're right. But the Bengals know that, too, and they only had 3 gates open. So that's on them.
That's on them. It was bad. The roads were bad. People who were working might not have been able to get there. I'm just saying, a lot of people do call off on situations like that. So yes, it may not be Mike Brown's, fault, but because of, the people he hired, they couldn't get in, but it's still
no benefit of the doubt.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's still a systematic problem that the Bengals typically have. Well, I guess, there's at this point, as Jim Mora said, playoffs. No, there's no more talking about playoffs because this team has missed the playoffs for 3 straight years. To me, it's about accountability, which leads us to the, uncomfortable but necessary conversation. It's like we need to start looking towards next season right now. So what does that look like? According to like our needs, maybe some, philosophical changes, resetting the defense. What does that look like? And we know, and let's just put it out there, Dick Tobin is staying, unfortunately. Jack Taylor, people thought like next year was his last year. No.
No, they did a secret extension.
They did. So it's 2027. So we're stuck with both of them.
He's staying.
Okay. So how does that, now what do we have to do? Give me a couple of quick fixes that we should be able to, the Bengals should be able to pull off, and then maybe like a long-term fix that might take some time to adjust and and
I
make it
mean,
happen.
this isn't a good answer, but they just have to get lucky. They have to get lucky on the signings and their draft picks because they have proven the last 3 years that they fail, and that's where the team fails because they let guys go or they try and upgrade, and then those upgrades don't work out. Those draft picks don't pan out, and so I have no faith in them in their evaluation process. So I mean, to me, it's they just are going to have to get lucky
Well, they've gotten lucky in the past when they've drafted high.
when they draft high, so lose your games so that you can draft high. And Zach Taylor's a moron because he's already said Joe Burrow's playing. The playoffs are done. You purposely didn't play him when Joe himself said he was ready against the Patriots because of the quick turnaround. Well, your season's now over, so why is he playing? It makes no sense. His mind is not on football. Clearly, he's coming off an injury. I know he's looked fine physically until the end of last game where he's walking off the field with a limp. He's going to either get himself hurt or he's going to get somebody else hurt. And there's no reason for him to be out there at all. None. There's none. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. Well, to me, I think, like you said, a couple of quick hits on the draft. We might need a philosophical change on the defensive side of the ball.
We're not getting that. Golden's not going anywhere.
No, he's not either. He's signed through 2026 as well, or 2027.
2027, yeah.
But I mean, yes, Murphy played nice, but it's a little too late. And this is what the Bengals always do, right? Yeah. This is what the Bengals always do. And they did this last year. It was, see, we made some improvements. The last 3 games we were playing really well. So let's run it back. Let's keep everybody. Let's get one Sheldon Rankins in the middle. Let's fire Lou because it's Lou. He needed to be a scapegoat. Well, I don't know. It's just, to me, we got to hit. We got to get lucky, and then I think we need to tackle. We got to learn how to tackle. Well, I mean, that's the thing. So, and we'll talk about that as well. I mean, real quick.
Murphy played really well. The last 3 games he has played well. Now that he's getting consistent snaps to play, which is encouraging. You can't rely on him to be your main pass rusher just because he hasn't shown it. So you're still going to need a top end pass rusher. But if you want him to be opposite of that guy, I'm fine going into the season with him and Osai kind of being 2A, 2B for your pass rushers.
So then Shamar being your 1A.
No, Shamar he's just there. I mean, that's the dilemma is these draft picks don't work. So now you got 2 wasted on first round picks on the same position, and neither of them really panned out yet.
Not yet. Nope.
But
maybe all they need is playing time. Right? Like you said, Murphy's getting it. I mean, this is his 3rd year. He should be.
Maybe, but you know what? Shamar Stewart had playing time in college and wasn't getting sacks either. So
now a lot of people say that was the scheme, but
well, I said that at the start as trying to be optimistic. Right. I think it's his lack of ability and not necessarily the scheme.
Well, when he runs the wrong way a couple of times, then yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's move on. UC hoops or lack of hoops there. So Georgia banked them 84-65, which brings us, I guess, to the question, Bearcat fans. It was a whisper, but it's probably getting a little louder. How much longer does Wes Miller have in Clifton? Right, this isn't panic on our end. It's a fair question, right? He's 1-4 in the big game that counts, and then he hasn't made it to the tournament yet. How much longer?
I don't think he survives the season. I don't. Because they're going to get off to an 0-5, 0-6 start in the Big 12, and I think he's going to be gone. They'll fall below 500 on the season, and he's going to be gone. I mean, some of his decisions are just stupid. It's just dumb. He had, they were up 11 with like 7 minutes left in the first half. They go into halftime tied, whatever. Georgia made a run, made some shots, whatever. In the second half, they were keeping it close, and then Georgia starts making a run, and he's got his entire bench out there on the court. And watches Georgia just build that lead up to 20 before he makes any other subs. I mean, that's tough to watch. Like that's tough to explain. That's tough to justify. I don't get how you can allow that to happen. Coaches, stars aren't playing well, bench is playing well. They'll leave them in a little later or whatever. But if they're the ones giving up the run, you've got to get your guys back out there.
Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, I know Georgia's improved. It's not like they're a bottom feeder anymore under Mike White or whoever the coach is. I don't know, not Mike White, something White, whatever, old Florida coach. But it's still Georgia. It's not like they've got a bunch of dudes. They
Right.
play
Not
kind of
Duke.
a gimmicky style where it's similar to defensively similar to Mick Cronin's teams where they try and muck it up, but then they just run and they just chuck up as many shots as they can because they know they're not making them. So it's that Houston style of just chuck it up and then go get a rebound. And we're just going to play as fast as we can, try and tire you out, and hope to get more shots than you because we're going to make less than you or a less percentage. So it's kind of a gimmicky style, but to get blown out by 20 to a team doing that doesn't have a lot of talent it's a tough look, especially coming off of losing to Xavier the way you lost to Xavier, the way you lost to Eastern Michigan. It's tough. I don't know how you can continue letting him coach.
Yeah. Well, you make good points. I think he lasts the year, but if they don't make the dance,
He
I don't
has
think.
to.
Yeah,
You have to have
5 years.
higher expectations than 5 years of not making the tournament.
Right.
I mean, 5 years is too, honestly, really, at UC, you should get 2. And then that third year, if you don't make the tournament, you got to be gone. So he's already gone 2 years past that.
Well, yeah, especially in today's portal age. And
yeah. You don't need to have 2 years to build your roster.
Right.
You can flip it like that.
You could. And I mean, granted, UC flipped their roster, and so did Xavier. But Xavier is now starting to find the
because of coaching.
Yeah, he made the adjustment, and
yes.
They're starting to play a little bit better. Now they're getting into Big East play, so we'll see. You know, if that momentum can carry over, right?
But that's my point, because UC's transfer portal was like a consensus top 10 haul.
Right.
Like everybody thought that they killed it. And then you couple that with a top 25 freshman recruiting class, there's no reason they should be this bad unless your head coach can't coach. He can be the best recruiter.
Right.
But, you got to be able to coach a little bit.
Well,
even John Calipari can coach a little bit,
Right. And talking about coaching, couple of notes on the other side of the ball, the football team, quarterback Sorsby enters the portal. All speculation says he's probably ending up at Texas Tech for $4 million. That's the speculation. Yeah, I know he's waiting for his draft where he, might. They're saying he's probably a first round pick, but
it's not a good quarterback class.
It's not. He's a top 5 quarterback in the class, so he probably will be a first rounder. But is he going to be a bottom, or is he going to be in that middle upper? And then does he go, or does he stay? Right?
Because when Desmond Ridder went out, that draft class for quarterbacks was bad.
Mm-hmm.
There was talk Desmond Ridder could have been the first round, so you have to weigh that risk. Because then he dropped to the third. So
and then I guess the interesting thing was Satterfield's comments where he said, you look out, at the quarterback portal market, and you look at where the top quarterbacks go. Those are the teams that have the money. And then you look at the very next the very next statement that he said is like, yes, we made an offer, a competitive offer, but we can't compete with those programs, right? So, that comes back to, once again, ties into the Cincinnati theme of you've got this starting quarterback who could be a first round draft pick, and you can't raise $4 million. Granted, he's from Texas. His girlfriend is going back to Texas Tech, or going to Texas Tech. I think if UC offered him $4, I think he would have stayed.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing that Texas Tech probably did is I wouldn't be surprised if UC actually offered him $4, but I bet Texas Tech offered his girlfriend whatever, and UC didn't.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
That's probably the difference, if I had to make a guess.
All right, so let's move on to the Reds, and exactly, the Reds. No major moves, really. No clarity, and fans once again asking what direction this franchise is going. But hey, 4 were elected into the Reds Hall of Fame. Congratulations on the 2 that were voted in, Aaron Harang and Brandon Phillips. And then Sweet Lou Piniella and Reggie Sanders were voted in by the Veterans Committee. So any thoughts on the Reds' lack of, I know we had Ferguson signing, but that really didn't move the needle for me at all. I know we need bullpen arms, but
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's a middle relief lefty from the Columbus area, so semi-local guy. So that was their pivot, I guess, for missing on Schwarber.
Yeah.
So got to get the Ohio kid. But yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about him. I saw some stats. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he doesn't give up a lot of hard hit balls either. He ranked pretty high in that regard. So
the only thing I saw was that from his fastball to slider or fastball to off-speed pitch, there was like 11 miles an hour difference. So, maybe our pitching coach can make him a pretty good player. All right. Well, we're going to move on into our trivia right now. So how you, the listener, can participate. Be the first to answer correctly and email us at cincysportscene@yahoo.com or DM us on Instagram. Find us there at Cincy Sports Scene. The first correct answer that we receive, you can get the bragging rights and a shout out on next week's show. So last week I had the question, and it was, let me pull the name, the top 5 Bengals sack leaders. And Trey Hendrickson was 5th. You got the 2nd and 3rd with Carlos Dunlap and Geno Atkins. The 4th one was Reggie Williams, linebacker, with 63.5. And then the number 1, you had to be of a certain age, like my age, and that was Eddie Edwards, 83.5 sacks. So one more than Carlos Dunlap. That's probably why the Bengals shipped him off, because they didn't want him to hold the franchise record after the way he said he wanted out of Cincinnati. All right, you got the trivia this week.
All right, so it's kind of a continuation on the last one I did with. I kind of butchered that question. So the question was that I proposed was largest Reds free agent signings of all time. The list I was actually looking at was of the Nick Krall era. So we had most of the names crossed over: Castellanos, Moustakas, Akiyama, Will Myers, Kirk Casale, Luke Weaver, and Zach Duke. They were all kind of in that top 5. So now the new question is, of those 7 names, how many of them actually finished out that contract?
We know Moustakas didn't. We know Castellanos didn't. We know Myers didn't. Dream Weaver, right?
Nope, he did not finish out his contract.
He didn't?
Nope, they traded him. Or they DFA'd him, remember? Then he signed with the Yankees and was on their playoff roster.
I thought he made it for the whole year, but
he did not. Nope.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dream Weaver. Let's see. Zach Duke? I don't think he did either. So who's left? Probably none of them.
It's just one of them did.
Kurt Casale.
Casale, yeah.
Casale, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he was the only one that finished out his initial contract with the Reds of their largest free agent signings. That's awful.
Yeah, that is.
Absolutely awful. And when you think about how they didn't trade any of those guys, they all just were cut or DFA'd, that makes it even worse.
That does. That's money we're still eating.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so now we are moving on to our CSS Christmas Wish List, the 12 days of Christmas style. So what we're going to do is we're going to count down the 12 days of Christmas, one wish for every frustrated fan in this city. And the way we're going to start with number 12, and we're going to take turns reading the list here, and then we'll briefly talk about it. So, Sam, you want to start with number 12, or do you want me to start
with number 12? Yeah, I'll start with number 12.
All right. So Sam's going to do number 12. So those of you out there, if you've got the 12 days of Christmas in your brain, you can start humming on the first day of Christmas, those type of things. Get to number 12, and we're going to work our way down. Just have that melody in your thoughts. So here we go. On the 12th day of Christmas, Cincinnati Reds fans want what, Sam?
They want 12 Chase Burns wins.
Yes. That would be good for us if Chase Burns can win 12 games out of the 4-hole or 5-hole. I would take that. Would you?
Absolutely.
All right. So now on the 11th day, Cincinnati fans want 11 competent offensive linemen. So yes, we want people that can block and block well and know what they're doing.
And the depth.
And the depth. Yes, that's why.
All right. So on the 10th day, we have 10 meaningful Reds signings.
We got one. We got
Yes,
one. So
got one.
I don't know if it's
9 more.
meaningful, but 9 more. Come on now, Nick Kroll, you can do it. That would be great if we got 10 meaningful signings in a little competition. And then on the 9th, 9 young players developed properly. This could be Bengals or Reds.
Yeah, this can be combined.
This could be combined.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take combined at this point.
Right. Yes, because that would be good. All right. You got number 8.
All right. And on the 8th day, we want 8 players tackling.
If it's individual tackles or gang tackles, yes, I'll take it. I don't know. But I watched after the Bengals game, I watched the Packers game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And man, do they fly to the ball. It is like the ball gets passed. 4 guys are right there surrounding the ball.
Must be nice.
And it's like, why can't we get guys?
Because our linebackers are out of position on every play.
And then our cornerbacks all have their backs to, we're playing zero coverage all the time. So, all right. On the 7th day of Christmas, Bengals fans and Cincinnati fans want 7 Bengals draft hits. So not of a lifetime, but in one draft, 7 Bengals draft hits. That's what we need to go with those 9 young players developed. And who knows, we could maybe make the playoffs again.
Yeah. On the 6th day of Christmas, UC fans want 6 top 20 wins. Again, combined.
Combined, yes. Combined. If the Bearcats basketball team gets rolling and fixes some issues, right?
They'll have a chance in Big 12 play.
Big 12 play, exactly.
They could go 6 straight games getting that.
They could. Then on the 5th day, so here we go. We got 5 consecutive winning Red seasons. All right. I'm tired of this 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 4 down. We need consecutive winning seasons. I want above 82 victories every year for 5 years. Playoff bound, winning some stuff. Let's go.
Yep. And on the 4th day of Christmas, to tie into that, we want 4 playoff wins. 4 is what it takes to win a Super Bowl, and 4 gets you to the next round if you're the Reds. So,
and you might get I
guess it might get you the next 2 rounds. I guess in baseball now.
Right, two and MLS. It'll get you pretty far too.
MLS will get you. We got to win 2 in the stupid first round, so get you to the Cup championship at least.
At least. And then on the 3rd day, we want 3. I almost wanted to change this, but I'll leave it here. We want 3 bold front office decisions. I mean, bold, like signing Kyle Schwarber or trading Hunter Green to the Padres for Fernando Tatis Jr. Something like that. Bold move like Marge Schott and Jim Bolden used to do. Bringing like Ken Griffey Jr. back to Cincinnati. Something like that. That's what we want. We want 3 of them, at least, from the Reds and the Bengals combined there. Number 2.
And then on the 2nd day, we would like 2 new general managers. Reds and Bengals.
Yes, because we know the owners aren't going anywhere.
Right.
So let's we could pray that we get 2 new general managers. And on the 1st day of Christmas, every Cincinnati fan wants just one Super Bowl victory in our lifetime. Just one. So, there you have it. Our Christmas wish list to you, the fans out there. I know this was a little quirky, little fun, little play on the game there. If you have any that you like, we want to hear yours. Okay, so drop your wishes in the comments. Right? What did we miss? If you enjoyed the show, please hit that like and subscribe button. Share this with a fellow frustrated Cincinnati fan. If you got family that don't live here anymore, share it with them. We want to grow this thing together. You can find us right here on YouTube and all the major podcasting platforms. We'll be back either December 31st or January 7th with a possible new format. So, we'll talk about that on the 7th. So stay tuned. If we're not back until the 7th, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy the holiday season here in Cincinnati. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
See you.